Go ahead and think of some popular video game couples. Who maybe come to mind? Mario and Peach, Sonic and Amy, Link and Zelda. One of the more obscure and even controversial romances would be the cute dinosaur pairing of Yoshi and Birdo. And what if I told you that these two lovebirds, love dinosaur things, actually had a child? It isn't a baby Yoshi or a baby Birdo. It's actually someone we are already acquainted with. The hero of Planet Popstar, Kirby. Now, taking that information at face value sounds a little weird or even stupid, but let's honestly try to find out if Yoshi, Birdo, and Kirby are one big happy family. The first thing we need to get out of the way is figuring out Birdo's gender. Birdo made his or her first appearance in Super Mario 2. The instruction manual is quoted with saying, he thinks he is a girl and he spits eggs from his mouth. He'd rather be called Birdetta. So according to this, Birdo is a guy. But then again, that game was all just a dream and doesn't really count. Nintendo would eventually establish Birdo as being a female, with the trophy in Super Smash Bros. Melee clearly indicating this, and pairing her with Yoshi in Mario Tennis and multiple miscellaneous games with a romantic undertone. Nintendo would still poke fun at Birdo's gender confusion in games like Captain Rainbow, a game that's so Japanese that I just can't even. Going back to this cute little guy, a ton of Kirby's powers actually originate from both Yoshi and Birdo. Let's first take a look at Yoshi's side of the family. For one, Yoshi has a never-ending appetite. He can continuously stuff his face with no real consequences. Remind you of anyone? That's right, our little friend Kirby. But wait, there's more. Think back to Super Mario World. Whenever you got a Yoshi, he could only run and jump. There wasn't anything too special about him, aside from the fact that he was cute and fun. But as we would come to find out, our little dinosaur friend would have the ability to gain abilities. Eating certain colored shells would give Yoshi certain power-ups. Red would shoot fire, blue would grant the ability of flight, yellow would cause mini earthquakes when Yoshi would touch down, and green does nothing. The power to eat things, and in turn give you special abilities? Sounds familiar again, doesn't it? Yup, this unique ability would then be transferred over to Kirby in a more evolved fashion. Kirby would consume certain creatures to gain certain abilities. Now I know Yoshi didn't technically eat the shells. If he actually consumed it, he would lose the ability entirely, but it's the concept that counts. Off the top of my head, these are the only two characters in the entire Nintendo universe that can gain special abilities just by putting random things into their mouths. Giggity. And what about the Smash Bros. Series? That universe solely exists on the concept of fighting your friends. So naturally, Yoshi would want his son to be fully prepared for the battles to come. Yoshi would then teach Kirby some fighting techniques to properly defend himself, which, have you noticed? Kirby and Yoshi share a fair amount of moves. Some methods for fighting for Yoshi include eating the enemy, doing a ground pound, and temporarily flying in the air. And with Kirby, he can eat the enemy, do a ground pound, and temporarily fly in the air. Hell, the moves are mapped to the same button combination for both characters. The B button eats, down B does the ground pound, and pressing the jump button allows temporary flight. Good job, Yoshi. You taught him well. As for Birdo's side of the family, Kirby didn't inherit that much. For one, he's pink, and Birdo's pink. Hooray. But also, Birdo's main method of attacking is shooting projectiles out of her mouth at an alarmingly dangerous rate. It's enough to kill anyone in its path. And what's Kirby's other method of attack if he doesn't have the copy ability? Yup, shooting projectiles super fast. Thanks, Birdo. And here's another cute piece of evidence. In Kirby Superstar, there's a game titled Spring Breeze. The final level has you fighting off against King Dedede in some kind of boxing ring. If you veer off to the far left or right, you'll notice some familiar faces, one of which includes Birdo? Why would Birdo, of all the Mario characters they could have chosen to be here, why her? Same with Kirby's Megaton Punch minigame. There's Birdo just watching again. But this makes sense. Both of these stages are arena-type levels, one that would require an audience to be present, so it's kind of like a sporting event. When you were a kid and you had to go to your football game, karate tournament, or whatever activity it was that you didn't want to do, it was usually your mother that was there in the crowds cheering you on because she's probably the reason you're doing this stupid activity in the first place. Now, Birdo doesn't look too excited to be there, but, you know, children's sports can only be so exciting. And there we have it. Yoshi, Birdo, and Kirby are one big happy family. Now it's up to you to take this information and science that I've given you and believe whatever you want. If you think that this weird family is possible, that's awesome. If you think that this is a bunch of malarkey and that I'm stupid, which is probably the truth, to be honest, you can think that. As long as I made you sit there and think, maybe, then I have done my job and I must go. My planet needs me. Hi again. You just watched me ramble about a theory, and hey, you're a trooper for making it this far. You deserve a prize, and I'll definitely find one for you. Let me know your thoughts on the theory. As always, if you enjoyed the video, you can show your support by clicking that like button and subscribing if you're new. Of course, that's if you want to. No one's forcing you to do anything. And I'll see you cuties next time.